looking decent today, and we will get started. Sorry, there's going to be a little bit of feedback, you know how it goes. Good, good. Alright, now let's go down our little checklist, go into mod view, bam, make sure it's running, good. Slap on these headphones, which has served me really loyally ever since I started my radio show in my freshman year of college. So that's, what, 6 years. Damn. I'm getting old. And take a drink. Alright, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to our playthrough of Crash Bandicoot, remade, technically, for the N-Sane Trilogy, playing it on PS4. In our first stream, despite this game being pretty hard by the standards of platformers released, like, in the AAA space during the early mid-90s, we managed to make quite a bit of progress. We made it through 4 of the game's 6 worlds, and I really enjoyed this last one. It was like a sludge-filled, high-tech energy station controlled by a mafia of like indigenous Australian marsupials and rodents. It was really, really cool. Speaking of, if you guys haven't seen photos or videos of actual bandicoots, probably worth a check out. The little guys are absolutely adorable. Look nothing like this charismaless blob. That said, we have 2 more worlds to go, and I'm not sure if completing the game, like actually making it to every stage, necessitates we get all of these white gems, but if so, that means there's gonna be some backtracking that may cause this to spill over into a 3rd stream. Now remember though, in order to get all the boxes in certain stages, that's what you need to do to get the white gem. We need to, in most of those stages, access some kind of wireframe platform, colored platforms that'll only be filled in if we got the corresponding colored gem. And as you see there, we have 3 of the 6 colored gems. I think we're missing red, purple, and there might be like an orange one. But we do have 3 of the 6, meaning we should be able to 100% most stages now. More than we can't. Anyhow, we're going to carry on with the beginning of the 5th world, the High Road. I think I've heard things about this stage before. This might be one of them that has a reputation for being really hard. Oh dear. Oh dear, it's one of these. Well, if you guys remember, it's a pathway that appears before us. I was going to say, if you guys remember... Come on, give it to us. There we go. I see what we're having to do here. If you guys remember, in our first stream, we actually found a stage in a similar biome to this, set on like a very perilous mountain bridge, and it was pretty tough, actually. All I can tell you is that's a very difficult start to a stage. And remember, we gotta stay away from those fractured boards because they will break the very second we make contact with them. Ooh. Yikes. No. 4, 5. Ah! Christ. Yeah, this is gonna be tough, because remember, every time we die until we hit a checkpoint, we've got to go back, to get those, well, we got enough lives, so that's a good thing. But we're going to have to go back to get the, crates over here. At least they all give us plenty of Wumpa fruit, which will put us well on the way to an extra life that, I get the odious feeling we're going to need. These are really cool platforming challenges. They're just really, really hard. That's right, and the boar will, like, instantly kill you. It's possible to kill the boar, but not without taking a hit and return, I don't think. And for the record, yes, this is one of those handful of levels I had heard about well in advance of streaming this game. And in fact, I saw somebody else tackle it during their playthrough, and it, did not end well. There we go. No! I thought I landed on the turtle. You've got to be super precise with those jumps. At least we're getting this part down. There we go. Yeah, we got that part down. Oh! It still hit me. Wow, this is... Oh, thank God, we've got Aku Aku. He can help us get past the boar at the least. What we really need, kids, is a checkpoint. But given, oh, how many boxes this stage has, we probably ain't gonna see one for a good little while. I mean, look, there's like no boxes all through here. Okay. There we go. Do we need it? No, we do not. We're gonna need it here, though. Oh, man. Oh, there it is. There's my beautiful, beautiful checkpoint. Oh, thank you, God. Oh, and there's a bonus stage here, meaning all of those boxes aren't necessarily indicative of the stage's length. Yeah, and if you kill one of the turtles, you're just SOL. That ain't great. That is not great. Oh, and yeah, you make contact with the turtle on that tiny, narrow little thing, it also kills you. Oh, no. Yeah, this is tricky, I ain't gonna lie. And no! That wasn't on top of the turtle? I thought, oh, God. Oh, this is gonna be a long, long stream, y'all. Of course, not directly on top of the turtle. Jesus. Well, they wanted to make sure you got your money's worth, didn't they? There we go. There we go. Okay, gotta be real careful here. Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, next checkpoint. It still has us nowhere near the end. Ah, the boar, of course. Oh, yeah, and those instantly shatter, as I reminded you all when the stream started, and should have reminded myself. How does it just gallop across open air like that? Come on now. Oh, and there's more of them. Oh no. They seem largely to give up the chase though once we pass them, so I guess that's good news. Yeah? Come on, big ol' boar. Big ol' boar. Not yet. Oh, more of you. I see some kind of box up in the air. Okay, well, that section wasn't terrible. Oh, so close, man, so close. Oh, that was just stupid on my part. Yeah, this is gonna be one of those levels. I'm so sorry, but it is. Okay. So what we can do is use this guy, barely, to get over here. If I could just... Or break the box that way. Up and down, and 1 and 2. And that is going to require absolute, like, pinpoint precision on my part, isn't it? Okay, good. And now the tricky one. We've got to position ourselves, like, right at the very end of this improv turtle platform. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Ooh. This is nasty. Landing on a single... Or no, sorry. Oh, 2 frozen planks. Oh, this is gonna be hell. No. Yep, so similar deal. Now that we know there's 2 planks, we've got a slightly larger landing zone than I anticipated. Oh, and there's like a special... No, that's the special stage. Good, which acts as a checkpoint. Very good. How many boxes we have here? 27. Oh, thank you God, we're almost at the end then. Yep, that's what we're gonna have to do, and now 1 more circuit. Good. And our extra lives, of course. There we go. That special stage wasn't too bad. It was actually a very nice change of pace from what we've just had to subject ourselves to. And that's all the boxes. Nice. Meaning now all we have to do is get ourselves through this nightmare. And our gem, thank you very much. Woo! What a way to start the stream, eh? That was a tough one. Yes, Crash, there you go. Puke up that gem. One second. Sorry, just posting a message really quickly. And sorry about the kind of, like, slapdash disorganized stream today, y'all. Especially anybody catching this VOD. I've been grading a lot of papers, rather unexpectedly. So I've just kind of had to... Oh, this looks like it's a colored gem stage. You see that? You see the tint of that, like, gem outline there? Looks like our orange gem. Slippery climb. That doesn't bode well. Let's see if we get the tooltip. Do we? Yeah, this is a special gem stage again. 51 boxes. Okay. But I've just been very, very busy with grading and things like that, so... Still glad I get to be here. With and for everyone, though. Oh, this is gonna be a tricky one, especially to get all the boxes on. Yeah, and these platforms' movement doesn't get arrested really at all at the extremes of their little arcs. Oh, man. So I guess we're ascending Dr. Brio's castle now? Nice that the vulture's being a pal and giving us a little extra boost. First bonus stage icon? Oh, yeah, Brio icon, too. So that's gonna be a pretty tough bonus stage. Oh, so we can actually take those guys out of play. I didn't realize that. It's also our first time seeing this exact stage theme. Like the creepy castle. I'm glad to see that the vultures give you more than enough height to make it, no matter how low they're positioned when you jump on them. No, no! Dang it, dang it, dang it! Oh. Well, we're having to restart the stage already. That's good. That's good. No, it's fine. Oh, Lord. And we have to remember, there's 2 more of these colored gem stages in the game after this. It doesn't seem as hard, though, as the Lost City so far. Definitely harder than the Cortex Power stages, though, it looks like. I do like that they introduce you to the new, like, retracting staircases in a no-risk environment, though. The game's always been very fair about introducing new obstacles to us in a fairly, accessible way. Okay, so we can just spin his hands, too. No! Oh, crap. We're gonna be here a while. And I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong, but I don't... I want to say I don't think... Well, first off, the other games don't have reputations for difficulty quite the same way this one does. But also, I feel like there aren't quite as many courses where it's absolutely necessary to make it through without dying or while getting all... Well, no, I think you do have to get all the boxes in every run, typically, to earn extra goodies. But not in a perfect run. I could be totally wrong about that, though. Oh, Lord. So they're not moving at exactly the same rate. It's a little weird, though, that they decided to put most, well, literally 5 out of 6 of the colored gem stages in the last third of the game. Seems to me, if I know my design principles from this time, it's on the one hand, for the purposes of difficulty, like adding a nice little challenge to some of these late game stages, which is perfectly good, but also increasing, almost artificially increasing the length of the game by requiring players make it through most of the content, almost all the content, in order then to be able to go back and perfect stages by getting all of the boxes and the corresponding white gems. Not sure how I feel about that. I feel like it was far more excusable as a design tactic in the day. Certainly wouldn't fly today, I can tell you that much. No! This game, y'all, this game does not play around. Like, the first Spyro had a couple, like, kind of tricky sections, almost all of them involving that supercharge jump, and doing some really cool and sometimes, like, kind of cheap, but most of the time kind of inventive things with it. This game, though, since it is more streamlined, is all about just sheer platforming challenge. As one of our viewers said the other day, yeah, this was designed by a team of people who looked at Mario 64 and said, some kind of wussy kids game. This is not playing around. I'm very glad we were able to get the white gem for the long road on our first attempt, though. Otherwise, I would just cry. There we go. Oof, that was really close. Yeah, I gotta wait for him to attack. We can actually, like, jump on their heads through the cell wall. That's really interesting. There we go. So we're making decent-ish progress. Okay, let's see how long it stays active. There we go. Up we go. Oh, and the spikes kill you. Of course the spikes kill you. Why wouldn't the spikes kill you? Instantly, in one hit, like everything else. And again, sorry for the relative quiet, it's just this is quite mentally taxing. Oh, this game is going to be the death of me. Over and over and over and over again. And I appreciate the Aku Aku mask, I really do, but enemies are not what's been killing me. It's been the omnipresent pits. There we go. That jump between the two moving platforms in particular is really tight. The little receding platforms aren't that tough to manage. It's everything else. There we go. And down they go. Good. Good. Problem is, just as soon as we get up there, there's another, like, trick staircase. Just barely, but we got it. Thank you, Aku Aku. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten. Okay, so that one's actually receding at a much faster rate. Ooh. Oh! So I actually should have jumped right as it... Okay, yeah. How many boxes did we... Well, none now, but... It looked like what I had to do was jump at the very second the platform receded while the staircase was collapsed, and then, like, it would extend and catch me on the way down, but it did not, of course. Yeah, this thing's gotten much harder very, very fast. There we go. This is the tricky one. Good. Good. Just barely, but good. Nice. What? No, I landed that. I totally landed that. Hey, Maisie, how are you doing today? Fair warning, this is going to be a very, very caustic stream, I'm afraid. I'm doing quite well, thank you very much. I'm busy, but, you know, well otherwise. Right now I'm just beating my head against the wall trying to get another one of those colored gems. All of which are clustered in the last couple of worlds, it would appear. There we go. Good. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, up we go. Good, good. So we got that part down. Hopefully. And now we get to rest up here. Kinda, sorta. I've already got 18 boxes, that's a good sign. Ooh, just barely. But we... Oh, yikes. Those are moving very, very fast. Oh my god. That's a checkpoint, but it doesn't matter. Oh. Oh, God. Because to get our gem, we have to do this sucker in one take. I see. Well, that's kind of interesting. Up, down, up. Oh, it's one of Cortex's scientists, or it was. This is a very interesting pattern we're moving in. Ooh. Yeah, this is tricky and wobbly, and I hate it. Oh, good. Good, good, good. Second token and an extra life, good. Just a second, going to take a drink here. Job's a good one. Down they go. And time for a bonus stage, and as we all remember, bonus stage deaths do not count against perfect runs, which is good because brios tend to be really, really tricky. Like so. Oh! Yikes, so I'm going to have to angle my jump to get right around the side of those. Oh, my. But fortunately they will launch us high enough to get around to the sides of these TNT crates. But yeah, okay. So we need to jump on... Yeah, got it. Just getting frazzled here, because how on earth couldn't I be? Oh, yeah, they fell. They fell. Of course they fell. So how many boxes do we have? 26, and they'll give us 19. So, yeah, that'll get us close to the end. Not gonna lie, I kinda hate everything about this stage. Without the presence of a colored gem, this would be totally manageable. It'd be hard, it'd be challenging, but fairly so. It's a very good thing that those deaths don't count. Very good thing. Oh, and I blew it. I blew it. We just have to keep telling ourselves that this is the hardest of the trilogy, and we're not going to have to put up with anything on this scale ever again. Oh, yeah, I actually have to manually jump that time. Whoops. What stage is this? This is called Slippery Climb, and it's stage 2 of World 5. This is the second stage we've played today, because the first was another one of those bridge levels with, you know, the boars and the tortoises and such. I keep trying to remember various things. I may have heard about the series to estimate whether or not my experiences are normal. Or I should say, common. But, I'm starting to remember the entire back half of the game does have a certain reputation for extreme difficulty. And, like, an increase in difficulty that is really pronounced and kind of sudden. And playing through firsthand as somebody who grew up around platformers, I can say, yeah, that's probably a pretty fair assessment. Oh, yikes! Okay, but that's the end. That's the end. At least that's the end. But no, see, we have to make it through this entire stage, the bit around the exterior of the castle, without dying, because it's one of those special gem stages. Like, the ones that were in Cortex Power. Oh, that one doesn't give you near as much room. Because of course it doesn't, why would it? Lord almighty. Are you kidding me? Even when you make it up there, the range ain't enough. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, I know what we're gonna have to do. Well, no, sorry. I thought we would have to get on around the other side of the box without triggering it, and use the momentum... Yeah, never mind. The momentum we can gain from bouncing on top of it, if it's not already been activated, to, like, bolster our jump, but it doesn't actually send you that high, even if you hold down the jump button. No, no. We made it, but we forgot the damn TNT at the bottom. You have to set that one off. Oh, Lord. This game's pretty big on exacting, like, absolute perfection from the player, which, now, to be fair, I grew up playing platformers of very different bent. Things more like your Spyros and Ratchet and Clanks and the open world 3D Marios and Gex titles and Sonic Adventure, stuff like that. So, I'm more familiar with platformers that encourage completion through exploration or additional challenge, not those that dictate, like, they're a bit more linear and so they dictate absolute perfection in, like, the execution of maneuvers like this. Kind of the contrast is, have you done everything we've set out before you to do, versus we gave you this one thing to do, you damn well better do it flawlessly if you want us to reward you. If that makes sense. It's not enough distance. It's not enough to... Wait. Wait, no, it's not. So what I've got to do is stand on top of the metal blocks to the left of that TNT crate, jump at the very second it blows, and then use the spring crate to bounce me over to the exit portal. Okay. Maisie says, yeah, that makes sense. It's what I'm thinking, right? And I mean... At least we get, like, 5... No, sorry. We get, I think, 6 extra lives for putting up with this. And, if tonight's experience has been any, indication, yeah, we gonna need those. Didn't do it quite in time. Well, yeah, because aside from just these straightforward platforming stages, this game in particular doesn't have a whole lot to offer. The next two in the series, I think, integrate more unorthodox styles of gameplay, like there's vehicle-based stages, and some of them allow you, or force you, depending on the situation and your perspective, to play as, like, other characters. I think there's some where you... Well, kind of like the boar riding segment in this game. I think there's some that have you riding a polar bear, some that have you riding, like... Or, no, I think flying like a biplane in these ridiculous, like, open-air dogfights. They get a little bit more varied. It doesn't work. The explosion's duration is so great that it... Oh man, how on earth am I supposed to do this? Just keep trying, I guess. If it's anything like the rest of this stage, the timing's just exceedingly tight. And see, we need all these boxes to earn the colored gem, which we then need to go back to earlier stages and destroy all of their boxes to earn one of the white gems. Oh! I think I almost had it that time, though. think we almost had it. I'm just gonna cry, though, if I make it through all of this, get back here, and then die on this stage, locking myself out of the gym. There we go. Now. What? I didn't move. I just moved myself to the edge and... Oh my god. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna go out on a limb here and say this is maybe a bit too challenging for something that I believe you have to do to access all of the game's base content. I could be wrong, but I think you need all the gems to actually unlock Cortex's castle. Well, not his castle, but his boss fight, rather. I could be wrong about that, though, and that could be a stipulation added in a future game. I know at least in one of them you need either all or a certain amount of the gems, and maybe even the relics to access the end game. Okay. At least we've got that bit down, more or less. Every time I try to just nudge myself closer to the edge of the box, no dice. Okay. There we go. Missed a jump, missed a jump. Just barely, but good. Good! Yeah, these Brio stages are tricky. We got it, though, leaving us with 6 boxes? Yeah. Okay, what are we up against this time? Anything in here? No? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There's our gem. Oh, thank you, God. Oh, it's over. Oh, it's all over. Good. Good stuff. You know you've just done something very challenging when it doesn't feel even fulfilling, it just feels... Well, you feel exhausted. Oh, God, not again. It's another colored gem stage. Okay, well, they did something kind of similar back at Cortex Power, and the second one was nowhere near as bad, so this is lights out. Let's see what we got here. Thank you, Maisie. Thank you very much. Oh. Yeah, it's exactly what we'd expect. Just 15 boxes, so this is going to be a bit like the second Cortex power stage. So, Aku Aku lights the path for us. And we need to smash the mass crates to renew his charge, so to speak. We are now firmly in Castle Cortex. And so the incentive here is going to be on moving quickly. Very quickly. These rats are no doubt here to try and take our mask away. Oh, like that. Like that. Well, how on earth are we supposed to manage that? Well, we have to quit and try again, but at least this level seems comparatively short and sweet, hey? We just might be able to get this one. And what looks like the purple gem? I think that's the purple gem. And maybe after this, we get to fight Brio, even though that'll be just a bit early. Hey, Anna, good to see you. Yeah, no, it's been ages since I played one as well. Though, I'd actually never played the first game, which is what we are all collectively suffering through right now, and, whew, boy, this is hard. See, several stages, almost all of which are in the late game, necessitate you to break all the boxes found within to get a gem, which is standard practice. But in these stages, you have to smash all the boxes on a single life in order to gain a special gem that fills in these wireframe platforms in earlier stages that you need to access in order to get their gems. And I could be wrong, but I think in this game all the gems are required... That was my fault, that one was entirely my fault. To access, I think, the final boss. I could be wrong, but at the very least I think we need both of those keys from the Cortex stages. The only real experience I had with the Crash series as a kid was, well, what are colloquially referred to as the bad ones. Wrath of Cortex on PS2, and then one of those atrocious 3D brawlers they made for the 6th generation. I do genuinely enjoy this game, even if the skill floor is actually pretty high. As I said, though, with a pretty restrained portfolio of mechanics, what exactly can you do? I appreciate that they gave the rats these kind of bioluminescent eyes to help us gauge their location. That is a rare kindness from the devs. Good. Now, thankfully, the game is not stingy on lives. Wait, was that a gem platform? Nope. Not yet. So if that's a gem platform, that means I can't get this stage's colored gem until I find the final colored gem. which is odd. I think this might be the first time we've ever seen a gym platform. In one of these stages, but yeah, there you go. So we're gonna need to come back once we've got the 6th colored gem, which is probably going to be in Cortex's world, I'd imagine. Not a bad stage at all, though. Nice, short and sweet. And perhaps we need that to access the stage up top. This is the first time we've seen branching paths, except at the very beginning where there was that DLC stage. Okay, so now we're heading to, well, what appears to be the bottom of the ocean for Jaws of Darkness, which contains our other key. Thankfully, no colored gem, though, so I'm very, very happy. Hope everybody's having a great evening so far. Busyness aside, I certainly am. Oh, it's another one of these temple stages. We last saw one of these in World 3, I want to say? How many boxes we were... Oh my god! That is a ton of fruit. Oh, and, hey, but it's okay. It's okay if I died now because there's no colored gem here. There we are. Timed that perfectly. Yes, of course, that's what I'll say. Timed. I didn't just jump, absolutely absent-mindedly. Perfectly timed. Yeah, I'm not the best at judging depth in these games. Which I distinctly remember being a thing in Wrath of Cortex, too. Some of the comparative depth on these early platformers was a little wonky. Oh, Hannah says, I just went on a massive wiki dive. I think the one I must have played was the Huge Adventure on the Game Boy Advance. I remember sliding on the polar bear cub while being chased. I think... Oh gosh, did it have like a green-backed cartridge or something? Not the cartridge itself, but like the label was like a deep emerald color? Because if so, I may have actually had that one as well. Now that you bring it up, I think I did have one on the Game Boy. And remember enjoying it quite a lot. There were also, of course, a couple spin-off titles featuring, or rather overlapping, this game and the Spyro universe. I think those were released just for Game Boy as well. But the two series have always been seen as, like, sister properties for whatever reason. I guess because they were highly popular, largely PlayStation exclusive mascot platformers, released at roughly the same time. Yeah, looks like the color behind the logo was dark green. I definitely did have that game, though, and I remember it being pretty good. This game is also pretty good, but it gets my blood pressure up. Okay, so yeah, no, let's go back. I don't trust anything that moves in this game. Alright. I'm curious to see where all of those boxes are going to be, though. Ah, there's our first Cortex crate, or icon. Bringing us just a little bit closer to that key. Oof. Is there going to be another bonus stage here? Yes, there's going to be a standard bonus as well. Well, that explains the high number of boxes, then. Ooh. Alright, so I'm seeing that platform over on the left. That's our ultimate destination. Whew. That was close. Ah, it's one of those gym platforms. Lovely, we actually have the blue gym, right? Yeah, so this will be our first time using one of these, I think. Hey. And yes, we have earned the hidden gym trophy. Will this be a Cortex icon? No, just more fruit. I'm very interested to know how, like an art director managed to take an absolutely adorable little Bandicoot and turn it into, well, this rather unfortunate pile of anti-charisma. Oh, and that's a death. Yeah, that one's totally on me. Oh, no, it's not a death, my bad. Of course, if you want to make a game starring an incredibly adorable Australian critter, you just need to get yourselves a platforming quokka. You know those adorable little guys that have taken the internet by storm, look like they're always just grinning up a storm? I've reached that point in quarantine where I just looked at, again, my fault, looked at photos of very happy quokkas for a solid 15 minutes to get myself going this morning. Also my fault. Good. Alright. Oh no, we actually probably need to commit crash harakiri, because, one of those boxes we knocked the snake into, Jesus, almost certainly contained, an icon we need for a special stage. What's the spelling? Okay, let me double check. I think it's Quokka. Yes, they're extremely friendly little critters native to one particular island in, well, that is technically part of Australia. And they're insanely friendly, not all that, frightened of humans, and have been known to come bounding up to people, begging for food, or even smiling and posing for selfies. It's the most adorable thing in the world. They're adorable little marsupials, and the world needs to know more about them. Yes, they are adorable. They are one of my favorite animals now, just for their remarkable, personal charisma alone. What on earth? I take it we're getting over there eventually, right? Just not right now. Yeah, not yet. Oh no. No. That actually takes us. Aha! Ah! But we know it's there now. We know. Actual bandicoots are very cute little guys, too. This one, not so much. Oh, so close. So if I keep playing more intensely difficult platformers like this, is this my first ever Twitch channel? It is, as a matter of fact. I did a couple test streams last year, then graduate school and everything got in the way. But yeah, this is my first stab at this. And thank you so much for the kind words, Maisie. I really appreciate it. But on that note, if I keep playing games like this, I'm going to have to come up with like a ready-made list of topics to discuss with chat, because there's going to be a lot of just barely constrained, frustrated rage otherwise. I'm thinking about looking at the Hot 100 for given years, particularly my favorite time in American popular music, the 70s, and like just discussing that on a given stream. I think the Rap Critic does something similar. Oh, Hannah, you didn't know that the Bandicoot was an actual animal? It is. It just looks nothing like this horrible thing. For whatever reason. Oh, and thank you so much, Maisie. I appreciate that. Well, if you say professional, that may be due to the fact that back when I was in undergrad... Oh, yikes. I did the bad thing. We're going to want to wait there just a little bit. Thankfully, deaths in the special stages don't count against us, as I've said a million times to reassure myself, so we're good. I had a radio program that, depending on the semester, I would host anywhere from 2 to 3 times per week. And it was just like my baby, so I would spend anywhere from like 3 to 10 hours per week on the air. Oh, should have done that. Should have done that a bit sooner. Ah. But it's okay. These stages are actually designed to be really tricky, because there's only 2 of these in the entire game, these Cortex stages, and by completing them, we get keys of nebulous purpose and origin. I think, or I should say it's that tiny little bit of me that hopes, we don't need to get all of the colored gems to actually progress to the final boss, or all of the white gems, and if that's the case, then we definitely need both of the keys. Like so. Ah, brilliant. And it only took about 3 years off my lifespan. Ah, good. Good. Excellent. And this will allow us access to the special stage. So we didn't get all the boxes here, which makes me wonder where the remainder are. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, I see the gimmick here. Oh, but there's multiple TNT crates. Well, I'm just here for the boxes, nothing else, so y'all can blow up all the extra lives you care to. I am fine with that. I think poor Crash and Cortex actually got caught up in the ridiculous Toys to Life debacle as well. I think, as I was doing my like preliminary research on the Crash series, and particularly its current status for these streams, I saw that, of course, like seemingly every other beloved platforming property of the 90s, they have now been reduced to appearing in Skylanders. No, we... Ah, I see. Those keys unlocked the stage up here at the top of this tower. Fumbling in the dark. Well, alright. Why don't we give it a shot? I'm actually quite surprised that we haven't made it to a boss yet. So, of course, it's similar to the last Darkness theme stage, but it looks like just a bit longer, based off of the number of crates present here. Oop, that one was on me. I do find it odd that, aha. That we are required to, oh, yikes, how do we... Oh, good. That we're required to, find both keys just to access this. I mean, it's cool. I liked the previous low light challenge, but... Whew. Oh, haha. We can actually make use of the galleries on either side. Given the rest of the game's level design, I wouldn't have expected that, but I'm very, very pleased to see it nonetheless. Okay. Oof. You can just barely see the outlines of platforms without Aku Aku all lit up. There we go. Oh, and they're nice enough to even throw me a checkpoint. Well, I think... And I needed it. I needed it. Hannah says, I've known of the existence of Skylanders for so long, yet I've never bothered to actually look it up. Little plastic figures, kind of like amiibos, can play the characters in some world game. I don't know. It's... Okay, imagine... I've never actually played the game myself, nor do I have any real interest in doing so. I find the whole thing somewhere between insipid and actually actively unethical, but it's basically a Diablo-like game with a tangential relation to the Spyro franchise, based around a Toys for Life concept. It's aimed towards young children, and each of your characters are, yeah, a bit like Amiibo. Separate figurines that you have to pay for a pretty high price for and collect. And each of them can then be used apparently to interact with the game in various ways beyond just acting as a playable character. As I understand it, having done, again, some perfunctory research on Skylanders for my Spyro stream a little while ago. Yikes. Yeah, I can see why they gave me that checkpoint now. Like, certain characters, or at least certain classes of characters, are required to access specific areas or other content, so it's like a microtransaction-heavy exploitative business model aimed at kids, and it's like, geez. Yep, yikes. That is not the Spyro I care to remember. Even though the only Spyro I remember from my childhood was from... I'm gonna shut up now and focus on platforming. I'm gonna get off the soapbox and onto the precariously positioned carpet overhanging swinging axes. That made grammatical sense somehow, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. Thankfully, the spider's luminescent eyes... Look before you leap, kids. It's good advice. Okay, here we go. Good. Yeah, so it looks like all the boxes from here on out are just going to be Aku Aku crates. Or no? Oh, thank you God. Checkpoint, hey. Okay. Is there a gap there? Yes, there is.
What have we got?
Hey, there's our gem. Lovely. Well, we made it through that stage, which is a nice little diversion, I guess. And yeah, just pop that gem right on out of your brain case there, Crash. I've talked about this before on stream. Crash is such a charming and compelling character to me. Hannah says, oh, that does sound bad. Yeah, luckily the only sort of schemish thing I got into as a kid was webkins, and at least I managed to get sick of it when they started locking things behind merchandise other than just the plushes required to extend your account's life. I think, when I was younger, one of my little cousins was really, really fond of that property. And to be fair, the Skylanders figurines seem to be of, like, kind of decent-ish quality from the couple I've seen, but the Webkins plushies, which I saw myself when I was babysitting my cousins, are, like, actually pretty high-quality, adorable little animals, so at least you get something tangible out of it outside of the online service. And with that, I think we're almost to the end of the game, hey? Time to take on Castle Machinery, then. We're supposed to have a fight with Dr. Brio somewhere around here, but... Oh, green gem platform, don't mind if I do. Oh my god, what the... Okay. I'll take him. I'll take him. And it also drops you, if you want, I guess, right back to the exit portal, so getting all of the boxes here is completely optional. Huh. Oh, this is very strange. Well, I see there's a couple over there. Ominous. Yes, absolutely. So I'm thinking this is going to be one of those optional, very high difficulty, what the... Oh, sorry kids, I know what we gotta do, I think. So what if I submit the following? This is not a bottomless pit. Yeah. It's nice, though, that the colored gems give you that kind of benefit, allowing you to just skip the entire stage if you're so inclined, and who knows? Depending on the time I have, I just may be. Nah, I want to show you guys all the content I can, really. So it's another one of these stages, like the really high-tech environments we saw back at Cortex Power. I really like this aesthetic overall. And we've only got 27 boxes. That's not a ton, but even the boxes have become somewhat uncommon at this stage of the game. Oh! Yikes! Okay. Wonder if we're gonna see any more of the adorable little marsupial mafia. Since we iced their leader at the end of World 4, I'm not entirely sure, but I would love to. Ooh. Give me that checkpoint, thank you. I do appreciate the variety of perspectives present in the level design. We've got a lot of like standard 2D, basically side-scrollers with just a bit of depth added. Some 3D stages that, yikes. Whew. Allow a bit more freedom of movement. We've got, my personal favorites are the ones that adopt almost a top-down 3D view that make gauging the overall trajectory of one's jumps much, much easier. So I take it, yeah, the toxic sludge is perfectly safe, the steam is not. Okay, so do we just carry on this way? Yes. Yes, we do. Oh, hey. Ooh. Let's give Crash a bit more cranial trauma. Why not? Notice, unlike, say, Mario, he does not raise his hand to break overhead obstacles. No, he just takes that straight on the forehead. Forehead, listen to me. Well, on the top of his rather strangely shaped head. Yikes! Okay, we're going to have to jump over that. You see, you jump over the trampoline positioned directly underneath the scalding hot pipes. At some point, I would love to, once I get the capture card and associated tech up and running. Anna says, Crash obviously drinks toxic sludge for breakfast, but steam, purified water is too risky for him. Well, I mean, I don't want to assume anything, but maybe we can say that Crash is fairly well acquainted with toxic substances. Poor guy. But no, once I get my capture card and the like up and running, I would love to stream the Sly Cooper games for you guys. Those are probably my favorite platformers, some of my favorite games of all time. Like nostalgic, just gaming junk food for me. They're made with a very different design ethos from both this and the Spyro series. They're slightly, well, something of a latecomer to the mascot platformer genre, with the first game released right around the time that the genre as a whole was starting to lose steam. But man, are they good. Okay, so it's one of these, like from the special stages, only very high stakes. Oh, what? Okay. That's a depth-based maneuver right there. But it looks like those were, aside from the couple we saw at the very beginning/end question mark of the stage, those are gonna be all of the boxes we have to put up with. Right? Yeah, just one more. Whew. That was way too close. Oh, yeah, the cameras are... For whatever reason, the cameras are, like, instant kills. I don't think you can defeat them by conventional means, and ditto for these little bladed contraptions, but that's a bit more obvious. There we are. lord. Okay, so experiment time. Can I actually spin those things out of the way? Maybe when I tried before I just had terrible timing? Who knows? Good. You know, I actually think grading history papers written for an online class during a global pandemic was slightly less painful than this. All right. Oh no. There's another one of these. The gem was right there. It was right there. No. No, 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 no. Ah. Welcome to the endgame of Crash Bandicoot. It's all like this. I will give this game credit where it's earned, though. The soundtrack has been consistently fantastic. A very, very strong selling point. There we go. Ooh, too late, too late. That's okay, that's okay. It's not okay, but I'm just going to keep saying it is. That green gym platform, it tried to warn us. But I did not listen. There we go. Okay, that bit isn't so bad. This bit is worse. 1, 2, 3. This is the tricky bit. If we had Aku Aku as a bit of a buffer, we would be fine. But we don't. Hey, there we go. Brilliant. You just puked that one up. Don't we have a lovable protagonist here, folks? Now, the sequels greatly expand the supporting cast of the series. And I distinctly recall from my brief experiences with the franchise as a kid, really liking most of the supporting characters. Alright, now it's finally time to fight Dr. Embryo, a character who made next to no appearances in the series following this, aside from, I think, showing up in one of the racing spin-offs, which were typically very well received, and appearing as a mini-boss in, Okay. Okay, that's... So do we just... No, he has an AoE to keep us away. Alright. So we're going to want to jump on the slimes. Or not. Okay. They can't be defeated. So we're going to avoid the slime until something else happens. I'm good at my job, what? Oh, or we... Oh, we spin it back into him. Right? 1, 2, 3. Or not? Now do we jump on it? Okay, so then it damages him, but only after it's exhausted itself. Okay, this is kind of an interesting fight. Ooh, my bad. The earlier fights in the game were actually much more straightforward, so I'm glad we're actually seeing a difficulty increase here toward the end of the game. Just based off of what I saw on the world map, it looks like Cortex is only a couple stages away, not exactly a full world. Separates the two of us. Okay, not bad, not bad. Oof, my bad. Music's maybe just a little frenetic for the action we actually have on screen. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And it hits me, so what we're gonna have to do is move in kind of a serpentine fashion because the arena's so narrow. One, 2, 3. Okay. What you got for us, Doc? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now there should be 3 of them, I take it? Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a different tactic here, no doubt. Or is he just going to send out one last? Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, this thing doesn't even have a title. That's lovely. Oh, that wasn't quite enough verticality, my bad. But fortunately for us, it looks like his second phase is markedly simpler than the first. I can see why fans like this character, though. This is quite a nice little fight, and more mechanically complex than those that preceded it. By a long shot. If you recall, the leader of the rodent mafia, Pinstripe Potoroo, had, well, basically nothing to him. You just stay in cover, pop out as soon as his gun jams, whack, rinse, repeat. Like 7 times. He was a beautifully designed character, probably my favorite character design in the game, because he is a rodent with slick back hair and a machine gun and a pinstripe suit, and that's right up my alley. But his fight was very simple, and he was supposed to be one of these, like, kind of late game bosses. This is a bit more fitting, I would say. Alright, Doc. Bottoms up. No, nope. I forgot about that phase. Now, every time you see me die in an incredibly foolish manner, just remember, I am tasked with the education of quite a few young people at any given time. This is what our schools have come to, folks. So he's just going to slowly advance on us, right? Right like that. Yeah, this is much simpler. Okay. Oh, jeez. And we've earned the Nitrous Broken trophy. And I guess we're ready to take on Cortex. If we've got the keys, we've got everything, unless it requires all the gems. Yeah, check this out. It looks like just... No, I'm sorry. There's going to be 4 more stages. They all kind of wind around this tower. This. Oh, guys, this is the one I've heard a lot about. This is the stage that's apparently kind of infamous amongst some, the lab, and it's a special gem stage. Yikes. Okay. We've got a brand new, like, level theme, though. More of those, like, little electrodes that we saw in Cortex Power. How long does the bridge stay extended for? Hannah says, you're right, Pinstripe looks fun. He does, and he's another character that didn't make many appearances following this. And yeah, nice variety in this fight. As for teaching students, it'd be quite an interesting experience for them if you lectured them on history using a platforming game. Oh, I should try to. Like, there's a part of me that very much would love my students to see these streams. There's another part of me that wants no one I ever interact with as, like, their instructor to at any point in their life see any of this and be like, oh god, this person taught me, and they're getting their ass handed to them by a children's platforming game. Can I get a refund? Oh, it's more of these things. Good. Good. This is a very interesting stage. Oh, that'd be your... Yeah, that'd be your TNT. Yeah, uh-huh. Time for a bonus stage, though. Ooh, and there's a new type of scientist enemy beyond the wall, it looks like. Okay. Just 12 boxes here? That's easy enough. Yeah. 4, 5. Good. Oh, we're missing one? Probably whatever that other box would have shown us. So, we commit what would basically be tactical suicide, since deaths in those stages don't count against the colored gem criteria, and load back in to try and get this right. Again, it's the spring boxes that end up getting me. There we go. Ah, there was a second extra life crate further up there. I see. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This game, as with the Spyro Trilogy, I think sold phenomenally at launch. I want to say the Crash Trilogy was like the #1 hottest selling game in the UK for quite some time after its release. And I would absolutely adore it if the renewed interest engendered in these series led to sequels or even similar projects in this vein from these very, very talented studios. Okay, what do you do? Ah, I see. You give me a bunch of nonsense I don't have to deal with. Whew, that was close. Closer than it should be. Okay. I see. So we do have a safe zone here. And yeah, our switch would be in there, of course. So what's waiting for us on the other side? One of the Electro Gauntlet scientists. Extra life, thank you very much. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait, let's... Okay, so... Good, that one keeps the door open. No, no, no. 1, 2, 3. Hey. Sorry I'm not the most talkative right now. This is, as most of these late game stages, just a little stressful. Yikes. Okay. Ah! No! No! So close! So close! You know what? I don't even care about the special gem right now. I just want to see if we can't get through this. At least I know that this gem won't be too hard to get once we actually do make it. There we go. 1, 2, 3. That's it. And yeah, we're gonna miss it, but hey, honestly doesn't look like the hardest special gem in the world. In fact, let me check something right quick, because there was something that was still something, well, a bit of an open question. Oh, these are also DLC stages. No, they're not. That's just a shortcut to the DLC stage. I gotcha. So we're gonna check this DLC stage out in just a second, but let me check something very, very quickly, because there was the open question, if you recall, of whether or not we needed all of the gems, to progress to the end, or what exactly they do. And I wanna find that out right now. Right. Okay, yeah, so earning all of the gems in the game apparently gets you access to a true ending, but whether or not that's going to be correlated with any type of separate stage is still an open question. The relics, I'm assuming, don't actually have any bearing on the ending you receive, or an end game or anything like that. But let's check out this brand new stage that was added exclusively for the remake. Curious to see what this is. Oh, hint, good luck, you're gonna need it. Great. Oh no. No, it's one of these again. Oh god, no. So, for anybody in the audience who's joined us recently, or since the very beginning of the stream, a stage using this same exact series of mechanics and aesthetics caused me maybe an hour, nearly an hour of uninterrupted pain at the very start of the stream. Oh good. Oh good. Right on. Well, this one doesn't have a no-death stipulation like the first, though, so... Yikes. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? There we go. Hannah says, okay, the way Crash just sent that dude flying is hilarious. Yes, it is, and it's also a series staple. Just anything Crash comes into contact with while spinning goes flying off at, like, at, Mach 5. It's really, really cool. And I'm sure it was pretty visually impressive, during the PS1 era when the game was released. Ooh! Ooh. Oh, no worries, Maisie. I'm just glad you're with us. I tend to multitask extensively most of the time as well. Grading's one of the only things I don't generally have as a multitasking-centered activity, just because I feel like my students deserve my full, undivided attention when I'm looking at their work. I can see why they said you're gonna need good luck. Up we go. Good. Good, good. I'll always be glad to be here. Oh, thank you so much. You're very, very kind. Depending on how many tries this level takes, I don't know how glad I'll be to be here, but... Also, since it's strictly DLC, I may or may not set it to the side for one of those cleanup streams I've been planning for some time. You know, where we go back through the end games and optional content of games that I've technically already quote-unquote completed on stream. Right now, we've got the Hand of Fate 2 Brimstone quests and, like, DLC companion quest lines to take care of. The Quill-related pages in Ukulele. That's going to be fun. And the, oh, what else do we have? That might be it for now. Because did we want, I think we 102%'ed Spyro. So yeah, we might just throw this, as well as like a gem or relic run of Crash 1 on that self-same pile. He says as he continues to press on through the level, he'd really rather not, oh, these are back, okay. From the Ruined City level theme. So this game must take place in some kind of bizarro Australia where every man-made thing is trying to kill all the animals instead of, you know, the other way around. Okay, good. Ooh, yikes. There is a bonus stage here, so that means that the number of boxes we see at the top of the screen is deceptive when it comes to estimating stage length. Oh, yeah. Okay. I took my blood pressure medicine. I'm good. Yeah, that... Tell you what, we'll give it, the level as a whole, just a few more tries, mainly because I'm sick of this stage theme more than anything else. This one actually doesn't seem quite as bad as the, I think it was just called Slippery Climb, in Brio's stages. Oof. Bit too early. Bit too late. Tell you what, actually, much as I hate to, we're going to back out of this for now, put it on the back burner, and see what we can't get, as far as the game's conclusion right now. So this is the Great Hall, and it's kind of interesting Because, yeah, it says we need every gem to progress. You see? Every single white gem we earn is going to unlock one of these platforms, and we need them all to confront Cortex. So, you know what that means. It's actually time to make the rest of this stream something of a cleanup stream, starting with the colored gem in the lab. And ending, no doubt, with Stormy Ascent, if that gem's even necessary. There we go. May have to make more creative use of the galleries here. Oh! Yikes, sorry, we are going to restart because I was careless there. Now the good news is, once we have all 6 of these colored gems, one of which I'm apparently missing. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. We shouldn't be down too... Oh, that's right. Because Lights Out has a colored gem, we need the lab gem to access. That's right, that's right. My bad. There we go. So this is going to be our switch. And this is going to be our bomb. And this is going to be our special stage. Oh, dang it. Destroyed the spring crates. I think also this game was the only appearance of the strange kind of anthropomorphoid female Bandicoot that was somewhat disturbingly sexualized. Crash's girlfriend or something, I think. Three, 4, 5. Yeah, she would not show up again in future titles, I don't think. Hannah asks, probably a good thing they let a character go in this case. Honestly, yeah. Like, I'm not the world's biggest fan of unnecessary sexualization of characters when it's not relevant to storytelling or something in a game in the first place. And to do it in, like, a weird, like, really eccentric platformer like this just seems kind of superfluous, to be honest. Okay. 2, 3. Hold on, let's get that distance just right. Oh, no, 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 no! So close, so close. Yikes. No, 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 Crash, don't go back to the Great Hall just yet. That's the end game. Luckily, earning most of the remaining gems will be a fairly straightforward matter, as all we need is to use the gem platforms that will have been revealed thanks to our acquisition of all the various colored gems scattered around the second half of the game. Good. The good news is, it looks like, unlike in Brio's boss battle, we can jump on those slime monsters to destroy them at any time. You know, Crash is just about everything I would expect to see in the design of, like, a very 90s mascot platformer. I'm talking about the character himself. Like, kind of ostentatious and almost proudly irritating. You know, the 90s rad aesthetic. Hey, Nugget, welcome, welcome. This is a Crash and Burn stream. That actually would make a great title, now that I think about it, because this is... Oh Lord. This has been a painful, painful journey for me. 1, 2, good. Good, good. Two, 3, 4, 5. I really love the visual design of this level, though. It's very cool, and I think it's totally unique in the game. There's no other stage that uses quite the same aesthetic style. Nugget asks, I've only played Crash 3, why is there a hot furry Bandicoot lady? We actually just discussed this before you joined us. So that character is fitting the role of, like, our totally bland, kind of unnecessary damsel in distress. Either Crash's girlfriend or another weirdly anthropomorphic mutant Bandicoot that was actually removed from the series following this, due in large part to several people, I think in the dev team actually, objecting to the presence of a sort of needlessly sexualized character playing opposite this horrific crack dream monster. Well, hey, relevant height don't mean a thing in the Crash universe. One of the most threatening characters in the entire series stood about 2 feet tall, and another one probably around 3 feet tall. Good. 1, 2, 3. 1. Okay, so there's going to be a slime monster on the other side of these electrodes. Yeah, okay. 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 Not there. Yeah! I'll take my gem now, thank you very much. Like it says, I see you count things too, glad to know I'm not the only one. Counting has been one of the only things keeping me sane throughout this playthrough. For the uninitiated, this is actually a deceptively difficult game. And did I play the original Crash games? How do I feel about his hitbox being pill-shaped now rather than rectangular? Oh gosh, aside from a Game Boy game that, I and Dimension Dweller both apparently played as kids that I remember being really, really robust and fun, I only have experience with, well, quite similar to my experience with the Spyro games. I had a tiny little bit of experience when I was very, very young, playing Crash 2, which I can barely remember. And other than that, I played the one that everybody hates, The Wrath of Cortex, which I actually remember being decently fun. And then I played one of those terrible, like, post-reboot 3D brawlers they produced. I think it was Crash at the Titans, where Crash could somehow mind control these giant mutant creatures, and he had ridiculous tribal tattoos and all of it. It was a very bad look. If Spyro didn't age gracefully into, like, the 6th console generation, Crash just, like, went into a bender and took himself out. It was, oof. Well, thank you very much for the compliment. It's not easy. What was the stage that, like, just totally did me in? I'm hoping and praying I don't need the gem from Stormy Ascent. Oh, it was this one. Slippery Climb. Yeah, that can go straight to hell. Now let's collect our 6th and final colored gem from Lights Out, which is a relatively straightforward stage for a colored gem level. And Dimension Dweller says it's always interesting to look up something you enjoyed as a kid and find out it was disliked by the larger fandom or community. Oh, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Well, I find that where there's a major fandom, my opinions on, like, the best entries in certain series or whatever tend to be sharply at odds with the majority. For instance, best Dark Souls game? I would have to say it would be the 2nd. And that is not a popular opinion. Best Ace Attorney game? I would be split between Investigations 2, or possibly even Dual Destinies. Neither terribly popular opinions. Well, a lot of folks like Investigations 2, but I don't think many people would say it's the highlight of the entire series. I would, though. When your mice are that large, it's time to call somebody. I don't care who you are, I don't care what the circumstances are. Your household pests should not be that big. Oh, and now it's axe time. Yay. Good. Gem platform. Take me to the boxes. Oh, this is neat. We get taken to an alternate exit, too. Oh, y'all. So the gym platforms are actually going to make this worlds easier. Nugget says, same, I love Spyro Hero's Tale just as its own standalone thing, but most people hate it. Yeah, that was the one that was, like, pseudo-open world, right? I've heard some things about that one. Yikes. Hannah says, ooh, controversial opinion for Dual Destinies there. I do think Investigations 2 is widely regarded as great. Still haven't finished it myself. It may, now that I think about it, be decisively my favorite, but I actually really like the 3DS games. I hope and pray, as people have been speculating, we get some kind of really significant Ace Attorney game for the Switch. Or just some Ace Attorney something sometime soon. And Nugget says, I would have already screamed at least 4 times by now since I came in. It was my first pseudo-open world game, and I love that mechanic. Yeah, no, I think... Oh, localized DGS, yeah, absolutely. I've been playing it very slowly on my own, and it's a brilliant game. It doesn't have as much focus on traditional trials as I would like, but it's still a very good game on its own right. Did I see any of your Crash 3 stream, Nugget? I don't know. I don't think so? I'm sorry, I must have missed those. But yeah, these are not easy games, and I've been told, you can actually confirm this for us, this is the most difficult of the trilogy, by like a long shot. But hey, now that we got all those colored gems, finally, look at them all, they're so beautiful. We can go back and get the remaining 13 white gems, which should be pretty easy now on most stages. I mean, aside from the bridge-based stages that can go die in a fire, but everything else should be nice and easy. Especially in this first world. Oh, don't you miss this? So nice and easy. Life was so simple in this time. And totally not full of bottomless pits. Nugget says, I'll send you some clips after you're done streaming if you want. I need to share my pain with you. Oh, please do. Please do. I am perfectly fine with commiserating over Crash. It is a deceptively difficult game. Now, all of the enemies from these early stages, the skunks, the carnivorous plants, the crabs, I believe they would all return for Crash Twinsanity, which, sorry, that's another game in the series I've played. I owned it for PS2, and it probably still is one of my favorite 3D platformers of all time. It's just a really good time. There we go. Now we should be able to get that gem easy peasy. Did we get the boxes? I think we got the boxes. I'm gonna be taking a lot of hits now, because I've reached that point where I'm careless, in that I don't care. And we're just trying to get all those precious little boxes and gems. And yeah, I can confirm now, this game has absolutely no nitro crates. They must have been a later addition to the franchise. I'm gonna be taking a few hits. Oh, not like that, not like that. As much as I adore the work of Viper, the world's favorite crack-based rapper, I shall not partake myself. There we go. Gem, please. Gem. Thank you. And apparently Crash shoved it straight up his ass. I have no idea why this guy didn't get more games. And look at his little eyes tracing the crowd. It's like he's waiting for the applause that, well, he knows is never going to come. But he tries to convince himself otherwise. Nugget says, I feel like someone needs to be on crack to do a speedrun of this game without taking damage. Probably. Yeah, your reaction time would have to be through the roof. And Hannah says, wonder what Viper's been up to. Well, we can visit the official Viper YouTube channel and examine his latest output. Let's see. So, recent singles from Viper the Rapper, somebody I've told the folks here on stream about previously, include... we have Guns Don't Kill People, Viper Do, Defyin' the Terms of Service, like I'm a Glory Balla or something, and The Whole World Need Me. Great. So it's just exactly what you'd anticipate. Oh, but he did release the video for, like, number 1 A1 Cocaine. So that's great. Nugget says those titles are amazing. So, Viper, in case you didn't know, is a Houston-based rap artist who made it really, really big in 2008 with his viral album, You'll Cowards Don't Even Smoke Crack. Not you coward. Not, you cowards, not y'all cowards. You will cowards don't even smoke crack. It went viral. It was obviously this huge deal online. I learned about it because somebody actually submitted a physical copy to my radio station back in the day, and I was like, I need to dig into this. And this dude has released an ungodly amount of unlistenable albums in no time. Like, I think in 2014 alone, he released over 300 full-length albums. And not one of them was decent. I kind of admire him for that, really. Like, you have to have a certain, and I'm being serious here, legitimately commendable work ethic to dedicate yourself to producing probably intentionally terrible music at a rate that would exhaust any other performer. Like, that requires its own significant amount of investment too, and Viper's clearly willing to put in the work. My personal favorite song of his, well, The Snowman is an instant classic. I've talked about this on stream before, but I don't think when any of our current audience members were present. The Snowman is a 30-minute long, kind of avant-garde single wherein Viper raps incoherently, like lyrics that have nothing to do with the song or indeed with each other, over the audio track of like a D-list, very cheap-looking animated Christmas special from what appears to be the late, or the early to mid-1970s. Oh, no. Not 300 songs. 300 albums. Full-length albums. But The Snowman features Viper rapping over, like, just the audio track for this Christmas special. And it's the entire thing, so a lot of the special is oddly silent in its sound design, so there'll just be, like, howling bitter winter winds with this guy barely rapping over it. And right around the same time, I think both were released late last year, he gave us a single titled Christmas Ballin', which is legitimately my favorite Viper song, because it's just him rapping, again, incoherently about, like, shooting you or something over, what sounds like the instrumental you would hear accompanying an ice level in a PS1 era platformer, and I'm certain that's where it was taken from. Maisie says Seamus songs are bad then? Well, for a certain quality of bad, yes. But they are legitimately entertaining in another way entirely. So Nugget says, My theory is, from what you've described, is that Viper is just a god-tier meme lord. These sound hilarious, though. You sure it's not intentionally comedic or ironic? Like 12 layers of irony here. So, as I understand, and I have done probably more research on Viper than I have for any of the material relevant to, like, my actual academic career or work, Viper is a completely legitimate artist. He practices, I've heard interviews with him. He's actually incredibly knowledgeable when it comes to the hip-hop culture and history of, like, Houston, Texas, which is this, like, hip-hop mecca with its own unique style, the chopped and screwed style, which is what he tends to record in. And he was, in fact, a pretty close associate of DJ Screw, the man who pioneered said style. And through the late 90s and early 2000s, he was a completely legitimate recording artist who released something, like, still quite a lot. I want to say close to 10 albums in that time. Full-length albums again, so we're not talking about a paltry effort. But, after he released You'll Cowards, which was actually a really experimental title, in 2008, and he saw how that just exploded and his popularity with it. Shortly thereafter, he did apparently not exactly lean all the way into the meme lord concept, but certainly embrace this unique form of fame that he received. And at this point, yeah, right around the time of, like, The Snowman, Christmas Ballin', pretty much Viper's entire discography is intended to be, if not ironic, at least comedic. But no, all of the original stuff, up to and including You'll Cowards Don't Even Smoke Crack, which I need to emphasize is a real song that happened, is meant to be taken completely straight. So this gym actually took us to a way more difficult course. Alright, it's a bit like the native fortress level. Yikes. Oh, you're welcome, guys. I could talk about Viper all the time. In fact, I think if you were to, like, look back at the VOD after it's released, you'll see I probably spoke more intelligibly and at greater length about Viper than I have about anything remotely related to this game or any game throughout my streaming career. Okay, this is gonna be really tight. No, I missed a box. Don't even tell me that. Don't even tell me that. Oh, we missed a box. Well, we're gonna have to try this one again. That's okay. Does he have a good voice at least? That's an interesting question, Maisie, and one that I don't think has a straightforward answer. Now, I know, like, Dimension Dweller has heard some of his work. How to describe it? It's very deep. His voice is incredibly deep. And he alters it with certain effects to reduce the pitch even further. Imagine if Barney the Dinosaur were on a very heavy course of, like, depressants. And you've got a rough idea of what Viper sounds like. Like, the dude's voice and his delivery is so unusual and so sluggish in particular that the intro from You'll Cowards apparently became a meme in 2008. Oh, Nugget has a good question. What does Viper's name mean? Why Viper? I think just because snakes are cool. That's about as far as he went. He's also performed under the names Cobra and Diamondback. Not Diamondback, Diamondback without the second D. What else? Has he performed as anybody else? I think he released one album under his own name, Lee Carter. But that's about it. He also runs a moving company of somewhat ill repute. And I think had plans at one point or another of going into legitimate real estate. Snakes are cool. Yeah, that's about as deep as you're gonna get with Viper. You'll Cowards was actually intended as a message song, believe it or not. Oh, and I should point out, there is not one album titled You Will Cowards Don't Even Smoke Crack. There are at least 3, as well as You'll Cowards Don't Even Smoke Crack 2, and a completely hilarious album titled You'll Stiller Coward? Question mark. Oh, that was weird. No, you should... There you go. The Indigenes, whose representation is a little suspect, also reappear in Crash Twinsanity. Nugget says Viper sounds like if a Skyrim mod were a person. Like a very low-end mod, yes. Okay. Now let's see if we can't get all them boxes. And prevent Brady from just having a conniption. Oh, I'm talking about one of those mods that, like, makes the mud crab speak profanity whenever you hit them, one of those type. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. That's a good analogy for Viper, I think. Oh, Hannah, that's brilliant. You know that Skyrim mod that replaces dragons with Macho Man Randy Savage? I do, and it's brilliant. That, but with Viper rapping Y'all Cowards. Oh my god. Yeah, no, just imagine you could use the audio from the intro just in place of the famous unrelenting force shout, just ha ha. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, somebody needs to make that. Somebody needs to make that right away. Okay. Is there anything to this back here, or... Yes, there was. There is a ledge back here. Haha. Ooh, a modded Skyrim stream? Maybe with mods decided by us? I think it'd be hilarious to see your commentary. Maybe, if I can get it working on a PC, and I can get the stream and all working from a PC, I would be open to that. Oh, by the way, do any of you guys know about the time that Macho Man Randy Savage got into a knife fight at a local, like, South Nashville Waffle House? Well, actually, I don't know if it was South Nashville. I think it was not too far from where I live. But yes, does anybody know that wonderful tale? Oh, thank you very much for the offer, Nugget. I will definitely take you up on it. What do we got? Where's the box? There's got to be a box back here. Uh-huh. This is actually brilliant. Did we get the box? We got the box. And it says, oh, Waffle House fights. Love that there's Randy Savage lore to be found in them. Yes, okay. So, going to have to get a little bit more blue and profane than I'm used to on stream for this. But apparently, it was late at night back in the very end of the Territory days. And one of Savage's associates later recalled this in his memoirs. Like, it's very late, just after a show. And Savage and he and a couple others, like, were stopping by at the Waffle House just to throw something down the hatch before turning in for the night. Randy Savage was apparently a very frugal man, and so the imminent affordability of Waffle House food, easily its greatest quality, I would say, really appealed to him. So they go in the door, and they're sitting there just waiting for somebody to come by and take their order. And, no, I'm not still missing a box. No, I must have missed one on the way over here by running behind the stage. That's it. Just as the waitress is about to get round to their table, a regular comes through the door. You know, apparently he knew everybody there, like cowboy-looking dude, kind of apparently tall and gangly, and he was like friends with a lot of the workers there. And he just, yikes, announces to the entire restaurant that he had just gotten married. You know, how lovely. What a beautiful thing. And he's ecstatic, and so many of his friends there on staff are excited for him. And this, of course, draws the waitress away from the table briefly. And out of nowhere comes this voice. Again, apologies for the language, but who the fuck cares? And everything goes quiet. You see, this man had inadvertently delayed the Macho Man ordering, and this was not going to be tolerated. So the guy's like, what, excuse me? And again, I said, who the fuck cares? And Randy Savage gets out of his seat because he is very hungry, apparently, and will not be delayed whatsoever from ingesting a substance that can be legally referred to as scrambled eggs. And he squares up with this kind of skinny, very mild-mannered man who, to his credit, does not back down. And they're like, the guy's like, do we have a problem here, sir? And he's like, yeah, I think we do. And just the Macho Man is totally inconsolable. So, oh man, I missed the second spring box. That's it. He decides to just, like, start opening a can on this guy, and the two of them are going at it, until the smaller man pulls out a knife that I guess he had on him as part of either his job or just, like, a pocket knife, whatever he had on him. Because Macho Man Randy Savage, who was very well known in the area at the time because he worked in and around Tennessee back in the Territory days, was very well known, and he was well known as like a heel or a villainous character back then. And this guy's coming at you with everything he's got, so what are you gonna do, right? And the poor guy, like, goes for this knife, but Savage, again, will not be dissuaded, and vaults over the counter to grab a much larger, like, kitchen knife straight out of one of the line cook's hands and start squaring off with the man as, like, you know, the cops are called and there's sirens in the distance and all this, and the fight's just spilled over the counter into, like, the Waffle House griddle area. Is there footage of this? Unfortunately, there is not, but there should be headlines from periodicals reporting on it at the time that you can find. And by the time the cops get there, like, they try to talk Savage down, but he won't go. He is just determined. No, that didn't just happen. Y'all see that? He is determined that there is going to be a Waffle House throwdown. So, now, apparently, according to, like, the guy recounting all of this, Savage never took an aggressive stance, like striking or kicking the cops themselves, but he resisted their attempts to pacify him when they started, like, tackling him and whatnot. And Oh, Maisie, it gets better. It gets so much better. There's several cops in the restaurant trying to hold him down, and he's just, like, kind of throwing them off all over the place. And at one point, one of the two cops actively wrestling with him at that point brought out, like, their mace and trained it on Savage. But he, like, maneuvered in such a way that he was able to break free of the one immediately behind him, trying to hold him back. So the one cop maced the second, then tripped over himself and fell on top of the other guy, while Savage just keeps tearing through the restaurant, like, in a waffle-fueled rage. And, by the time the whole thing winds down, they have to call in one of the most vicious canine units active in Nashville at the time. And, like, the Waffle House is surrounded by cops, like, cars everywhere, and Savage just, like, making fools out of the responders until they set this massive dog loose on him. And according to according to this account, like, up to that point, completely unflappable Randy Savage gets bitten squarely in the ass by, like, a 100-some-odd 100-pound dog, and just about nearly blacks out, and that's the end of it. He was only detained very briefly, though, I believe. Waffle House Bar Fight needs to be a Skyrim mod. Waffle House Bar Fight needs to be its own game. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but anybody who knows me in real life can testify that I am oddly passionate about the phenomenon of Waffle House fights. They're more common than you think. What an amazing tale, thank you, Hannah. I can't tell it quite as well as the actual, well, the actual storyteller did, but it is quite a tale, nonetheless. Macho Man Randy Savage ruins a feel-good moment at Waffle House. Oh, you found it? It says, dude, you did a Randy Savage voice. It was a great experience. Thank you very much. My Macho Man impression is not as good as I'd like it to be, but it's decent. Oh, Maisie says, my mom also loves Waffle House fights. Well, they are an American tradition, you know? You can actually go online, just look up Waffle House Brawl or whatever, and find scores of videos of people just having it out in a Waffle House. Oof. So it looks like, depending on the stage, the gyms can take you to much harder courses, or can more or less just deposit you right on the precipice of victory. I'm certain you can tell which option I prefer. Hey, there we go. Now I will say, the aesthetics for these indigenous fortress stages are absolutely breathtaking. I mean, look at the color palette they use for that skybox. Jim? Thank you. Oh, yay, we get to revisit one of the river levels. I absolutely adored these, the music in particular. So I'm not even really a wrestling fan, never was. I think, like, some of the history surrounding it, particularly the fact that pro wrestling was derived from traveling carnivals, and to this day retains a lot of their practice and ideology, is very fascinating. But I will say, ever since I'm a kid, I've always identified Pomp and Circumstance, you know, the graduation song, less with academic achievement or anything, and more with Macho Man Randy Savage, because he's just such a darling personality. I love how the piranha sound less like they're, like, jabbering their jaws and more like they're gargling water. That's equally precious. This one should be a nice, straightforward little experience, at least until we reach the gym platform. So I want to bet, you guys, that we will be able to complete this game by the end of stream tomorrow, which is great, because, yikes. Oh, sorry, I just drowned my crash. That's always a bad idea. Take care of your bandicoots, please. I'm going to be, conducting an early stream on Friday. Then I'll actually be, well, out of town. I'll be back in my hometown visiting, well, I would say visiting family, but really trying to visit my grandmother, who's been completely shut away since the COVID-19 outbreak over the weekend. I should be back by Monday evening, though, so we should only miss 2 days? Still, I will miss you all terribly. Hannah says, funnily enough, the gargling water sound effect actually makes sense. It does. It's just a very, very cute, like, little touch that they integrated. Clearly, these remasters were made with a great deal of love, and I do appreciate that. Okay. So there was just one box back there, huh? Okay. And notice, if you will, these actually appear to be white gem platforms. So we needed X amount of white gems to be able to access that crate, I assume. I also really appreciate, especially seeing how crucial it is as a skill later in the game, that we get to see... we are trained to perform these box jumping puzzles very efficiently early on by the absolutely risk-free special stages. That is a very nice touch. Great game design there. Background music sounds like the soundtrack from a particularly cheery nature documentary. Alright, we got 2 boxes. Hopefully they're back here. And they are! Lovely, lovely. Now, of course, we could complete time trials for the relics, but I'm not masochistic. Oh, Nugget, you're absolutely right. They say this is some Zaboomafoo music right here. It is! I knew it sounded very familiar to some... Oh, that's lovely, Crash. A huge part of me is tempted just to switch over to Coco, but I know that she's going to play a really extended role and actually get her own gameplay in future installments of the trilogy. So I just want to give this gross little rat thing his day in the sun. How many gems do we have? Oh, just 10 away. So we're not going to get them all this stream, but we can easily take down Dr. Cortex tomorrow. Nugget says, nah, you gotta do the time trial so we can laugh at you when your psyche breaks and you have a mental breakdown. Well, if you want to see my psyche break, or me lose most of my sanity, you are several years too late. However, I did attempt one time trial for the very first stage in our first stream of this game, and yeah, they seem like something I might return to as part of a challenge stream later, but definitely not something I want to do right now. Rolling Stones. I remember this one being a pretty solid stage. Also a more than solid band. I am funny and definitely not a hack in any way, shape, or form. There we go. I have to say, so far, now that I'm finally exploring all these great platformers from my youth, at an age where I can appreciate them, and many of them for the first time, Crash, or Crash 1 at least, seems to be a really robust, challenging, very well-made little platformer, but I have to say pretty decisively I prefer the first Spyro game. It just had a bit more to it, you know? Also, supercharged challenges aside, it wasn't persistently, like, relentlessly difficult. Though this game does have far, far better bosses, which is something I generally ascribe a great deal of importance to. That's just an extra life up there, right? If it's an extra life and it ain't a box, I don't care. Yes, it's an extra life. Well, we don't need any of those. Bonus stage. Nugget says Spyro 2 bosses will make you cry and regret your words. I actually hope so. No, seriously. I love just about everything about the first Spyro, save its bosses, because they seem like such an afterthought, which is fine, I guess. But it just really stood out when everything else about the game, particularly like its aesthetic design, its soundtrack, the actual challenges you had to complete in the worlds, were very, very well designed. It just seemed kind of odd. Spyro 2 bosses I'm looking forward to. Oh, and there's our blue gem platform. I love the look of the gem platforms. Ah. You have 0 lives and you just walk past an extra life? No, no, no. When you're in a bonus stage, you are shown a separate tally that refers specifically to the number of lives you've acquired in that special stage, because most of them are absolutely laden with extra lives. Okay, are we just gonna... Okay, it's waiting for us? Good. Good, 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 good. Oh, did we miss a Brio? Did we miss a Brio token? We must have. Whoops. Sorry, folks. We'll be right back on track shortly. There we go. Going backwards in Crash levels gives me a special kind of anxiety. Oh, agreed. Agreed. This is not a fun time. But you know what? At least it's not Slippery Climb. And at least it's not the Lost City. And at least it's not the Long Road. Oh, yikes. That one's on me. Did I maybe miss the crate somewhere down here? Maybe. If we go, no. Well, let's retry the stage and be very, very diligent, eh? Or actually, sorry, because I want to cover as much ground as we can, on this stream, let's actually head to a different stage. Oh, the Native Fortress, which I remember very well. This is a very, very nice stage. Alright, 48 boxes here, and some of them are, as usual, sealed behind a gem platform. Now remember, this is actually a very long stage. This might actually bring us toward the end of tonight's stream. So, at any rate, before we get that far, I would like to thank everyone who is currently in the audience for turning out tonight and electing to share yourselves and your time with me this evening. Always appreciate it. Always appreciate you. This has been a stressful stream, so it's been very nice having people to talk to about Viper and, like, Waffle House brawls to keep my mind off of. Good God, this is a hard platformer. '90s kids did not mess around. I will say that. Oh, thank you so much, Hannah. Thank you for attending, really. I'm glad to see and hear from you, and glad that everything seems to be going well, with the summer thus far. I'm very, very excited to actually be getting out of the house for the first time in 3+ months in just a couple days. Oop. Thank you. Hannah says, I swear I was so much better at video games when I was a kid. I had the time to throw myself against platformers with abandon. Oh, same. Same. I remember, like, when all of this started, and especially when the semester ended, I thought, oh, cool. Now I'll have a time to throw myself into all of the books I wanted to read for fun. Yeah, pleasure reading, that's a thing that existed before grad school. And all of the video games I have piled up in my backlog, listen to all the albums I've been meaning to. And especially the games, it's like, yeah, no, that's just not gonna happen because you are not as capable or as focused as you were when you were a kid and could just do this all the time. Yo, let's pick these up, y'all, because I don't know, we might need these lives. Oh yeah, this is that special stage with just a handful of boxes. Yep, yeah, that's what y'all come out to the stream to see. In my free time recently, what there is, what with all of the papers that have come in, I've been playing this really interesting Souls-like I found through, I think, a YouTube video. It's called, I think, Sinner Sacrifice for Redemption, and it's got a brilliant conceit. What if Dark Souls on a budget, and it was nothing but boss fights? So it's a gauntlet of like 9 or 10 boss fights, most of which are intended to embody one of the 7 deadly sins. And you actually start out at the outset of the game at like the greatest level of power and with the most resources and strength that your character will ever have. And prior to fighting each of the major bosses, you are required to make a sacrifice to them in order to get the pleasure of fighting them. And typically the penalty you accrue will have some relevance to that particular boss's sin. So, for instance, that concept actually sounds lit. Nugget? Yeah, it is. I really like it. For instance, the Sloth boss encumbers you with a special status ailment, technically, whereby as soon as your stamina is exhausted, if you're attacked at that point, you become winded and can't move as easily. No, sorry, you become winded and just have to, like, catch your breath. You, like, become completely stunned. The boss associated with gluttony, I believe reduces the number of healing items you can carry at one time, and also significantly reduces their efficiency, or effectiveness. Envy takes away most of your supplementary non-healing items. And what's the one I'm saving for last because it just sounds like a pain? Wrath. Wrath drastically lowers your defense, and I want to say maybe even the strength of your primary weapon. Ooh! Yikes. Hey, I was well above that brazier. I'm actually gonna call foul on that one. There we go. Oh, there's our red gem. Just straight up into the stratosphere this time, huh? Oh! I am the best at video games. That is my claim to fame. Oddly enough, hold on, I have to take a drink real quick. All of the promo materials for Sinner, Sacrifice for Redemption really prominently feature one of the secret bosses that's unlocked through slightly unorthodox means. It is a boss meant to represent cowardice, and it is literally a giant chicken in golden armor. It's a beautiful, beautiful little game. Oh, I see. Ooh. This is gonna give us a couple of those totally superfluous at this point extra lives. And it says, that's hilarious. Guess they wanted to show off their amazing concept even if the player didn't put in the effort to access it. It's either that or they thought, huh, what looks suitably monstrous yet is not the most visually impressive thing we have to offer. Because most of the bosses, as is kind of my preference in a Souls-like game, are humanoid. With the exception of... Oh! No. Okay, so we're going to have to go back to before the beautiful little sky jaunt. Lust transforms into an inhuman, like, aberration near the end of its fight, and I want to say Gluttony isn't perfectly humanoid either. It's this giant, like, obese monstrosity with a pair of cleavers. And a massive gaping maw along its front. The chicken is one of the easier bosses in the game, but it also, by my calculations, may deal the most damage out of anything I've fought so far. Like, just blow for blow. Just watch. We don't need them. Just give me them fruit. At least we've got some lovely music to keep us company through all this. Now I noticed too, not far from the braziers, in fact I think behind the next set of braziers, there's another opening in the palisade where we should be able to... Yeah, you see it? Oh, just an extra life? That's all we got? Eh, I'll take it. No! No! Yikes, that actually killed my verticality. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Well, hey now, I just don't like to waste you guys' time. You're kind enough to patronize these streams. I feel like you ought to see a plethora of new and exciting content that may or may not be 20 plus years old in the first place. I have no idea if what's being chanted in the background is actually Polynesian, and I get the distinct impression that it is not. I'm no well, actually, I guess officially I am supposed to be an expert, but it doesn't really sound like it. At least not Kanaka. Which, I mean, why would it be Kanaka? It would be, Indigenous Australian. One of those languages with which I'm not familiar in the least. Save that they have absolutely beautiful sounds to them. There we go. Oh no, please don't tell me I'm missing just one. I don't know where it would be if there is something I'm missing. Maybe there's another break in the palisade. We just... Nope, there it is. There's our gem. Lovely, lovely. Significantly less lovely now. Oh, that felt great. So we've got only 9 gems left to go, one of which, I'm sorry to report, lies buried beneath the Stormy Ascent DLC stage. You know that thing I just decided to wash my hands of earlier? Hannah says he's trying. Yes, probably trying too hard, though. Like, I mean, he is... stuffed those gems in every orifice now, and I honestly fear for his health. But that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid is going to have to be where we leave it for the evening. Thank you all so much. We have a pretty sizable audience here. So to anybody on twitch.tv who's been with us either in chat or simply silently watching the stream, I want to thank you so much for your continued participation and patronage of these streams. I really do appreciate you, and as I've said multiple times, especially since this is a very difficult time for all of us, for the world, since I've been more or less totally isolated, having people to share my passions and just chat with is of an eminent worth to me. So thank you all so much. I do hope you'll decide to join us tomorrow for probably the final stream of Crash 1, and hopefully, provided Stormy Ascent isn't too much for me, which it could be, I will dive into Crash 2, which I'm really looking forward to. As I said, I played maybe the first world or two when I was a kid, and remember it being A, much more diverse in its gameplay style and visual aesthetics than this, and B, also a fair bit easier. So I do look forward to that, and hopefully you'll join us then as well. And to anybody watching this as video on demand after the fact on YouTube, thank you so much as well. All of your patronage, all of your presence is always appreciated. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, please take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, take care of each other. Thank you so much, and good evening.